You guys know what time of the year it is. It's Super Bowl. It's time for Alexguy's Super Bowl predictions. So here we go. This year, we got the motherfucking Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes on the team. And then we also got motherfucking Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts making his very first Super Bowl appearance. So, without further ado, let's get this shit motherfucking rolling as we got the Philadelphia Eagles up first. Let's go. Why am I excited? This is weird. All right, so here we go. The Philadelphia Eagles. They were in the NFC East, not were. They're in the NFC East where they finished first with a record of 14-3. And really anybody in this division could have made the playoffs. This division absolutely did a complete 180, did a complete 180 from the year 2020 whenever it was the trash bowl. We'll go over the standings. The Eagles finished first in the division with a record of 14-3, followed by the Cowboys with a record of 12-5, followed by the Giants with a record of 9-7, and the Commanders with a record of 8-1. Sorry, I forgot the ties. The Giants finished 9-7. We're going counting losses. Fuck ties. Okay. So really, the worst team here has a 500 record, which is very good for a division. You typically don't see that often. So this division was like fucking stacked. It was stacked to the brim. And one of these players, his name was the quarterback for the Eagles. His name was Jalen Hurts. This man completed 66.5% of his passes for 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, and only threw 6 Holy shit. Only threw 6 interceptions in an entire season. So as we can see, this was obviously a complete upgrade from his rookie year in 2020, where he completed 52%, threw for 1,061 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 picks. So this man more than doubled his rating, or no, doubled more in touchdowns this year than he did in 2021, that year was a good upgrade for him as well, but 2022 so far has been his best year. One of his favorite targets that he likes to throw to on offense, his name is A.J. Brown. Wide receiver, came from the Titans, and he's been a very lethal asset for the Eagles. This man has 88 receptions for 1,496 yards. He averages 17 yards a catch. His longest reception is 78 yards. And has 11 touchdowns and has not fumbled the ball once. So, yeah, their offense is pretty fucking stacked, if you ask me. This is, goddamn, the offense is on crack. And Jalen Hurts will be sharing the backfield with very lethal running backs, so I've heard. And I'm only gonna pick the one, and I've picked Miles Sanders. Dude has had 259 attempts in the regular season and he rushed for 1,269 yards. He averages almost 4.9. We'll round up to 5 here, for 11 touchdowns. Yeah, this offense is no joke. Now, the Eagles' defensive line is probably some of the most scariest motherfuckers I've ever come to see. Like, these guys are probably the scariest D-line in the entirety of the NFL. So first up, we have Brandon Graham, who is one of the defensive ends for the Eagles. He has 35 total tackles, 19 solo tackles, 16 assists. He has 11 sacks and 2 forced fumbles on the year. Who else do they have? Do they still have Fletcher Cox, actually? Yes, they do. Fletcher Cox, one of the defensive tackles, has 43 total tackles, 23 solos, 20 assists, 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Who else? Because this D-line is like fucking lethal. We have Javon Hargrave. I think that's how you pronounce that. Another defensive tackle for the Eagles. He has 60 tackles, 37 37 solo, 23 assists, with 11 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. And last but not least, we have Josh Sweat, the right defensive end for the Eagles. He has 48 solo tackles, 31 solos, 17 assists, 11 sacks. What the fuck? What is with everybody? Jesus Christ, how many sacks did this defense get? Anyway, 11 sacks and a forced fumble and a pick and a defensive touchdown. So, yeah. The defense is a little stacked. So, the defense for the Eagles is not to be trifled with in the slightest. So, let's see who they will be going up against. Let's take a look at the Chiefs now and the Chiefs offense. Here we go. The Chiefs offense, we're gonna go ahead and start here to people who really don't need any introduction in the slightest. Who do we start? Patrick Mahomes. Why the fuck not? Mahomes has a completion rate percentage of 67.1 for 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. So a really good season as usual for him. This motherfucker finished 2 playoff games on a sprained ankle. So that's not an achievement to be taken very lightly, if you ask me. His favorite target that he really likes to throw to is not a wide receiver. It's a tight end, Travis Kelce, who has 110 receptions for 1,338 yards, and 12 touchdowns. This man also averages 12.2 yards a catch. So on average, this man is getting a first down or more. It is also very, very hard to cover him. So the Eagles defense might have a hard time going in and actually covering this man for good. This man, no amount of blocks can contain this guy. If the Eagles defense can come up with some sort of way to keep Kelce contained, I will be impressed. All right, here we go. Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. I know I butchered that. He's the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Man had 170 attempts for 830 yards and 5 touchdowns, along with 13 receptions to go with it, and only fumbled 4 times. So he leads the Chiefs' backfield in rushing yards. He is 25th overall in the league in rushing yards, and is tied for 24th with touchdowns in the NFL. So the Chiefs really rely on their passing attack more rather than, the running game. And next up, we're going to go to the man who leads the team in tackles, which is Nick Bolton. Man has 180 total tackles, 108 solo, 92 assists, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. He has 2 sacks. He is second in the entire NFL for tackles. Next up, we got the interception leader, Jalen Watson. He has 29 total tackles. He's a cornerback for the Chiefs. 49 total tackles, 37 solos, 12 assists, 1 pick for a touchdown. And he is tied 104th in the league for picks. Now, the Chiefs' secondary is really, really young. So if the Eagles find a weakness in their defense, this is where it's going to be. But at the same time, I think the Chiefs' offense can play catch-up with it with the amount of weapons are in their receiving corps. Because all you really need is just Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. They'll just run around the field and they'll typically make something happen. All right, so who do I have winning this game? Fuck. I went with the Chiefs earlier, but I'm looking at the stats differently. Like I going in blind, I'm sitting here like, I think the Chiefs got this. But now, as I'm looking at the stats, I think the Eagles' defense is just too ferocious. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this one. I think the Eagles will take um, the Super Bowl from the Chiefs in an instant classic game, and that's gonna be my Super Bowl prediction. I hope to make more videos. I just got really busy for the rest of 2022, but I hope to make more videos in 2023. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm taking 16 hours in courses for college this year, but we'll see what happens, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.